My dear students, as you know, English is the international and global language. It is very natural on the part of the English lovers to know about a number of answers of a number of questions. It is because English plays a leading role in our society, in our civilization, and all over the world. And here we find that the origin and expansion of English language is the topic today. I'm going to give you some ideas in connection with how English language was originated and how it expanded all over the world. Now it rules over the world, and here we find generally a number of questions arises in the mind of English lovers. What I have already told you, that the first question: why is English the most widespread global language? It is very natural. A question arises: why? There are a number of languages in the world. Then why English is regarded as the most widespread language all over the world? This is a question. The second question: which origins were injected into English vocabulary and language? It means the English language was originated coming in compact or the impact of a number of other languages, as our languages, particularly in India, our regional languages or our national language, all these languages were also influenced by a number of other languages during the period of Sultanate, during the period of Mughal, and during the period of British rule. We find that a number of languages have very much influence on our language. Therefore, our language is also a mixture of a number of languages. The Parsis, the Mughals, and the Europeans, all the languages have a very good influence on our language. Therefore, similarly, here we find that English language was also not originated automatically overnight. It was originated coming in contact with a number of foreign languages. What are then they? The second idea, why is English called a hybrid or mixture language? As I have already told you, that English is a hybrid or mixture language mostly due to the fact that English came into existence and has become the global language, coming in contact with a number of European tribes, those who migrated or those who conquered over the British Islands, and their languages had a lot of impact on the dialect of English language. Therefore, English language improved gradually. Yes, the next, what were the reasons for which English expanded all over the world? It is very natural that whenever after the Industrial Revolution in 18th century, the Britishers wanted to find out the sea routes to different Asian and African countries, and they decided to start their economical benefit, that is a commercial relationship, by establishing colonies in Asian and European countries, in Asian and African countries, as you know, the history says. But here we find that they were not satisfied only in establishing colonies. They also started establishing imperialism all over the Asian and African countries mostly. Yes, and therefore their intention was very clear. They wanted to just exploit the resources of the vast continents of Asia and Africa, and to develop their industry and to develop their economy. And for that sake, they wanted to utilize English as a weapon to get their benefit and achieve their goal. Okay. The next idea, during whose rule English was introduced in India and why? During the period of Queen Elizabeth I, which was, who was no doubt the most leading queen in England and very popular in the history of the pages of history of England. And during her period, the British East India Company expanded its business all over the world, mostly Asian and African countries. That was the most important period during which English spread all over the world. Yes. Now question comes. It is very natural factor that language is the primary source. Yes, very interesting that language that is the primary source of communication. It helps us in sharing our ideas, thoughts and feelings with others. It separates us from animals and makes us human. Definitely, language differentiates in between animals and human beings, mostly due to the fact that whenever they express their feelings through gestures and creating different sounds, we express ourselves through languages. Therefore, languages make us different from that of the animals and make us human and very superior animals. And yes, this is true. The other factor is here that English is the most, again, and yes, countries have their own natural languages, regional languages, in addition to large variety of local languages or dialects spoken understood by their people in different regions of the world. It is very natural that thousands of languages are there all over the world. And people from aboriginal period, ancient period, primitive age, have been using their own regional languages. And yes, but very interesting factor that in spite of all these languages, how English has been a leading language over all the languages, which is now playing a great role in connecting us all over the world and making us global citizens. Right. And the next idea that English is the most widespread global language of international communication. It is the most widely learned second language. Second language, I repeat, second language in the sense that this language is used as the second language, whatever our regional or local language it may be. We take interest next to our regional or local language or mother tongue. We take interest in English mostly due to the fact that we want to expand our perimeter of learning, to know something more and more and establish ourselves in the society. Therefore, English plays very important role. It plays important role in various human activities like education, administration, diplomacy, medicine, publishing, engineering, internet, computer, judiciary, science and technology, mass medias, business, trade and commerce, tourism, entertainment, transport and communication, what not. It means there is no field which is left alone without English. So English has been playing a very, very leading role at present in different activities of human life. Therefore, leading is the English is the most important language nowadays. English originally developed in England. Therefore, this is credit goes to the people of England. Through historical efforts of the British Empire, it means English is not a language which is a very significant one overnight. It has been changing time to time, and its dictionary is growing, expanding, and here we find mostly due to the efforts of the British Empire. Whenever British Empire became a leading empire, after that, but before that, the Normans, the French, the Normans means the French. This is the old name of the Normans, which is called the French. The French people are the Normans, and the Celts, the Romans, the Germans. The German means Anglo-Saxon, Saxon, the Angles, the Saxons, and the Jutes. These four categories of tribes combiningly called, that is Germans, conquered and ruled over the British islands over, that is, years together. As the Britishers ruled over India for about 200 years. Similarly, British islands, the people of England were also ruled by the four different European countries, and they were the Celts, the French, the Romans, and the Germans. The leading European countries, they controlled, they ruled over the British islands years together. Therefore, their language had a positive impact on the English language. Yes, here we find that the local dialects of England, the Great Britain, which has been divided into four parts, that is what we call England, Wales, Scotland, and Ireland. Here we find that the Celtic tribe, language of the Celts, originated there as the original language of England. Even the dialect are found in the Celt language. Here we find, therefore, all these four categories, Greek, Latin, German, and French origin, were injected into British vocabulary as well as language. Therefore, it has been a strong language at present. Yes. The next idea, what do we find? The Celt tribes migrated from Central Europe to British islands in 5th century and invented English. And English words derived from Celtic origin are common. What I have already told you, in British, Irish, Scottish, and Gaelic or Welsh languages. It means the original language, what we find in the local people among all the Great Britain, they are the contribution of what? The Celtic origins. Yes. The next idea, that is the English words of Greek origin and cycle. Here we find that cycle, democracy, phobia, micro, galaxy, typhoon, psychology, and a lot of languages come from the Greek or Latin origin. It was because the Greek and Latin were both the official language of Roman civilization, which was the most important civilization in ancient Europe. And that Roman languages played a massive role, a great role in changing or bringing or shaping the English language as the foremost language in the world. Yes, and that language again. The other words what we find, Latin, and the English words Latin origin, dent. What we say, dental, dentist, etc., teeth, and contra, contradictory, against, century, centrifugal, so center, and ad is equal to audience, audience, audio, visual, audience, all these are too. So here I've been to here. Aquaguard, aquarium, and water. Bona fide, in a good faith. That is means he is a bona fide person. It means a person having what? That is very credibility. So here we find a number of very interesting factors are there here with mingled with the matter. Another, that is English word German origin, automat, diesel, kindergarten, KG school, kindergarten, that is what I call the great philosopher who has contributed a lot for the teaching and learning, by particularly learning of small children, the playway method of learning, and kindergarten, and faced over Kaiser, Nazi, etc. These words also have been derived from the German origin. English words of French root, advice, it is a noun of advice, budget, honesty, recently budget session, and honesty, and the noun form of honesty en route, on the way, and ice cream and market, all these words which are usually being used to in our day-to-day life have been originated from French language. Yes. The other idea, what we find, over 60%, very interesting, that 60% of English words have Greek or Latin roots. Because as I have already told, I repeat that that Latin and Greek, both the languages were the official languages of the ancient Romans. Therefore, whenever the Romans ruled over the British Islands, at that very moment, their language, Greek and Latin language, influenced the people of England and their languages. Yes, therefore, about 60% of English languages come from that is Greek and Latin roots or origins. Over. The other idea, what we find that there are approximately 160 English dialects in the world, like American English, British English, Australian English, Indian English, South African English, New Zealand English, Scottish English, and here Irish English. However, standard English is used in most English-speaking countries. Very interesting, because Indian English is also being respected all over the world, because our English speaking in the Indian people are very soothing, very comfortable, easy to understand, and easy to express. Therefore, Indian English is also very much respected all over the world. The idea is here that no doubt English was originated in England, but during the British rule, the Britishers tried their best to spread the English language all over the colonies or the empires established by the Britishers all over the world, particularly the Asian and African countries. And hence, people are now speaking and taking more interest in English, and English is now connecting the people all over the world. Yes. The modern English language emerged between 1450 to 1500. So 1450 to 1500, it means these 50 years were very, very important for spreading the English language all over the world. William Caxton, Caxton's printing press, naturally John Gutenberg who invented printing press, but English printing press was invented by William Caxton, and therefore credit goes to William Caxton, which Caxton's invention of a printing machine, English printing machine, which was a gift to the English people to spread their language all over the world. The other very important idea that the English Renaissance. It means what is the English Renaissance? A great change. Renaissance means a new age, a turning period that came mostly due to a change in the English dialect, and how it didn't remain as a dialect, it changed into a very leading language. And yes, that is what we call Renaissance, a change. That the rise of the British Empire, this is another third most important factor, the rise of British Empire. In the sense, the British Empire became very, that is what powerful after Industrial Revolution in 18th century. They started capturing the weak countries of Asia and Europe in order to establish their colonies for commercial relationship. Then they also they got the advantage of establishing imperialism over them. It was therefore they became very efficient enough they got the chance of spreading English all over the conquered, or that is the countries which were under their control. Yes, that was therefore important. Again, the other factor, that is Industrial Revolution, because Industrial Revolution which started in England and spread all over the Europe and then the world in third stage. It was a gift to the British people, because Industrial Revolution made the people of England stronger economically, and therefore they got the chance in controlling over the very poorer countries of the world, and it was no doubt a great advantage to them. Yes, the other factor is here, the reign of Queen Elizabeth I. Queen Elizabeth first Queen Elizabeth was no doubt a very leading lady who controlled the British Empire and raised the prestige and dignity of British Empire all over England. And also she became famous all over the world, mostly due to her cunningness and due to the economical enhancement of England, and hence she became a leading lady of England, and who helped in spreading the English language all over the world. Again, when the British started ruling over India, they searched for the educated Indians to work for them in administering India, right? Because the Britishers were very cunning. They were not interested to bring the clerks from England and to employ them in either India or in China or Indonesia or any countries of Asia and Africa where they dominated or they established their colonies and imperialism. They therefore decided to encourage the people of their colonial countries how to develop English language, so that the English learning educated persons would help them in administration, and they can easily handle them for their betterment or better improvement. So this was their intention. Therefore, here in India we find that They therefore first they sent the Christian missionaries, established primary schools, high schools for Indians, and taught English. Lord William Bentinck, the no doubt very reputed Governor General of India, during whose period introduced English education in India in 1835. Very important, 1835. And according to Lord Macaulay's minute on education, English education was established, originated in India for their betterment, no doubt. Okay, during the period of Lord Dalhousie, another leading Governor General, his period, Charles Wood's dispatch emphasized on the higher education in English in 1854. Another important year, 1854, and universities were built in 1857. So the intention is very much clear. They wanted to spread English language all over India. To make the Indians educated in English. That is giving less importance on their regional languages. Yes, and they were also successful in this in achieving their target, and maximum educated people in England, India, they started taking interest in learning English, and they got the chance of getting jobs under the British rule. This was really very interesting factor, that how India has become a middle class country, mostly due to the fact that the people, those who are intelligent enough in India, they started taking interest in learning English, and they established themselves as English officers under British government. Yes, that was a turning point in the history of India. Again, another factor that here how our people, the Indian people, were called Indians in blood and color, but English in taste, opinions, and morals and intellect. It means, no doubt, we are Indians, but we are in no way inferior that of others. So English, developed our style of living, changed our economy, and brought Western knowledge, and this is the Eastern and Western, that is very called collaboration started, and people started to know what is right and what is wrong through discussions and debates, and their economical condition also developed, and which also helped in the period of our freedom struggle. Yes, the other idea of what we find, therefore here, these are the very interesting ideas in connection with the origin and expansion of English language. Naturally, many English lovers, those who take interest in learning English, they want to know what is about the origin and expansion of a lot of factors are there, but I have given you some basic ideas in connection with the expansion of English language all over the world and in India, and how today English has been playing a leading role in our country and also the world. Now, this is a period of questions. In order to test your comprehension, what I have already told you, I have taken some questions for you to test your comprehension, how far you have comprehended my teaching. So here we find that questions for testing your comprehension on origin and expansion of English language. English is the most widely learnt blank language in the world. Yes, this is the question for you. And alternatives are there: first, second, third, and fourth. I have already told you. Yes, just try to think and answer the question. Yes, this is the second. Here we find the second language because all over the world people are no doubt expressing themselves through their mother tongue or regional language. Side by side, they put emphasis they on English. I mean, as their second language because without English nothing can be done. Understood? Yes. And here's another factor that over dash percentage of English words have Greek or Latin roots. I've already told you. Just remember 50 or 55, 60, 65. It is 60. Yes, very important factor to remember that we face a lot of English, but about 60 percentage of English is derived from Greek or Latin roots. Third question. It is said that dash tribes of Central Europe invented English in England. The alternatives are the Normans, the Celts, the Romans, and the Germans. No doubt, all these four came and conquered over the British islands and ruled over British for years together. But the Celts came first, and their language was the origin of English language. Thank you. And next, the fourth question, question number 4. During the reign of dash, English language spread in many countries. Yes, it is also very clear. You can easily speak. This is here Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth I, Queen Elizabeth II, Queen Victoria, and George I. So here we find that Queen Elizabeth I, or the first Queen Elizabeth, was really the leading lady, and during whose period British Empire decided to spread English all over the world. Yes, and the next idea, that is 5. English education was introduced in India in dash. India in dash. Is another question number 5. 1835, 1854, 1836, or 1857. This is another question, and it is very much clear that it happened during the period of Lord William Bentinck, and that is 1835. Am I right? 1835. I repeat. And next come the idea. Charles Wood's dispatch was introduced during the period of Lord Dalhousie. Which is the that is called the period 1855, 1854, 1856, 1857. It was 1854 during the period of Lord Dalhousie. Yes. So this is also another important that historical period in India's history, and during which the universities were established for the sake of imparting English education among the young educated persons of India. The other idea, dash tribes ruled over the British island first. Naturally, okay, here that the Celts here the Normans, the Normans means the French, the Romans, the Germans, the Celts. Actually, the Celt tribes ruled over the British islands first. Yes, and therefore they are respected for the creation or the origin of English language. And again, dash and dash were the official languages of Roman Empire. I have already told you that Greek and Latin. Here we have the options, that is what we call English, Greek, French, and Latin. Actually, French and Latin Greek and Latin, both the languages were the official languages of the ancient Roman Empire. When the Romans conquered the British Islands, they exercised their language in England. Therefore, a number of words, about 60% words of Latin and Greek, mingled with the dialect of English language, and English language improved. Yes, it's a structure, improved its structure, yes. And the next idea, that is dash and dash were the, okay, over. And universities were built in India in a dash for education, that is 1857, 1860, and 1867, 1870. So here 1857. It was also during the period of Lord Dalhousie. The universities were, a number of universities were built in India in order to create English learning among the minds of the educated Indians, so that they can get employment under the British government and help the British administration here in India. So this was the matter, and here I think, I hope you can better understand about the origin and the expansion of English language all over the world, and therefore at present English has been a global language. And yes, bye bye. This is for today. See you in the next class. Thank you very much for being with me.